Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, all of the above. So excited to be doing the social with you guys. My name is Katie Gideon. I am calling in from Houston, Texas. Want to shout out to my stage manager who will be manning the chat, Jennifer O, who is in Dallas, Texas. So you got Team Texas again. So we're excited to be here. It's super fun seeing everyone from literally coast to coast all over the place joining us for this. So very excited to be here in preparation for sunset somewhere. But this particular social, we're going to be doing a Radiance exercise and the sketch, Radiance sketch on page 16 and page 19 in your journal. And kind of the grounding for this, I would say, is when I started my Silk and Sonder journey, I was all about the trackers, habit trackers, accountability, weekly planner, all of those really nice checks that I could, color back in, stickers, all of the above. And then I shied away from all of the kind of deep self-reflection or journal prompts that now that I have begun being a facilitator, begun attending these socials, I realize that those are just magic. Magic in a sense of it gives you an opportunity to self-reflect, gives you an opportunity to be creative, but you just have to give yourself the permission to take the step and just try it. The type A personality in me was like, I need to know the answer. I need to know the direction. It has to be perfect. Is this right? Is this wrong? And the beauty of this is that there is no right or wrong answer. No one is checking over your shoulder to see if you're doing it. So we just want to give you some of those tools to step in and lean into some of these prompts. So as we go, this one again is going to be a little bit different than maybe some of our weekly setups or monthly setups, because it's going to be a lot of just time with you and your journal, doing all of the kind of exercises. Jennifer and I will be here in the chat to kind of help you through, provide some guidance. But at the end of the day, if you're not in the great headspace to do these or tackle these, that's perfectly fine. We are just glad you're here to spend this hour with us, listening to fun music, embracing radiance, embracing spring. And we're just excited to get started and move this direction with you guys. So, embracing the month's theme of radiance. And so I am a weird kind of quirky personality. I went with the little radiance. I went with radioactive. That's kind of where I've gone kind of down this journey, but also stepping back. And I want you to kind of think on what are those personality traits that you just are drawn to? What are some of those things that your group of people love you for? Think of some of those traits. Is it a personality? You can always envision that person that just has that really big, fun laugh that you can hear down the hallway. Want to make sure that you're just kind of in those thoughts of like, what are the things that you can emit to other folks, but at the same time, when you're basking in some of those people that just have those larger than life personalities, what are some of those qualities that you just love, you embrace, you celebrate? Because that's kind of the direction these prompts are going to go to. So just kind of laying the foundation there with the radiance, thinking of the emit, but I want you to think more of that. What can we offer others? What can other offers us in that realm? Because that's where these, the kind of direction that some of these deeper prompts are going to go. But we are super excited to get this started. Other kind of grounding things, make sure that you have your chat set to everyone. That's where we can provide feedback, questions, comments, directions, anything. If you get stumped, if you need help, if you need support, throw it in there. We're here to help you. But the other amazing thing is everybody else who's joined us on this call for this social are here to help you as well. So we love seeing all those and just coming collectively to kind of tackle some of these scarier prompts. So we're going to start with a radiance activity. Then we're going to do a radiance exercise, which is on page 16, the radiance sketch on page 19, and then close. So for this first radiance activity, it's called energy mapping, which I feel like falls into my science realm. So if you keep seeing me in my nerdy self, Here we are again. Go ahead and turn to a blank page, or if you don't have a blank spot in one of the sketch panels in your journal, and you're going to make a T-chart. So I have drawn the example here, T-chart, line down the middle, line across, and calling it energy mapping. At the top of one column, you're going to put draining, and on the top of the other column, you're going to put charging. And you can come up with 3 things, you can come up with 1 thing, you can come up with 2 things, you can come up with 10 things. There is no requirement on the numbers, but I want you to think about things that drain you, and that's drain your energy, drain your time, drain your enthusiasm. And then I want you to think about the things that charge you. What do you go to, rest, be it emotional rest, physical rest, mental rest? What are those things that charge you? What are those things that make you happy? And then at the end, you can kind of reflect on, maybe circle one thing that drains you and put intentions not investing there that week or this month. So for example, I came up with a couple for the draining side for me. Driving in traffic always stresses me out, drains me to the point of unnecessary. And so ways that I charge myself for that is the song that we played, Sunset Somewhere, perfect, like throw open that sunroof, crank up the music, just go to my kind of happy playlist, music induced bubble with the sun shining, sunglasses on, reverting back to when you feel 16 and you're driving for the first time instead of being like mid-30s stressed out in traffic. Other ones is obviously work deadlines with no help. And then planning events where people are like, I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I want. Those things drive me nuts. So a couple of those that I find draining. So we're going to give you some time to look at these. Identify some of those. Please share what drains you, but also what charges you. I feel like that's the magic of this, is there's so many ways we can go to happy places to just refill our energy, refill our cups so that we continue to make the kind of best version of ourselves. So we will give you some time and we will check back in. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. What I loved seeing was the connection across everyone. A lot of the kind of same trends ended up on the draining and charging side, which is what I love about these socials. The opportunity to feel very small, but make that instant connection with someone that you just haven't even met in person, and the magic of all being collectively down that path together, obviously in different times, different areas, but just always wonderful to see all of those things. Loved seeing some of the answers and just the honesty and purity of those answers. That's why I'm a big fan of the T charts. I feel like it's a very narrow down, simplistic summation of some of the things that we're feeling, some of the things we're seeing. And to see it in this type of format, I feel like it's always one of those deep dives, but that kind of glimmer of, well, that makes sense. Especially with the duality where you're dealing with draining and charging, and how you kind of think in terms of connecting those two together, where it's like, yes, this is draining, but on this hand, this is what's charging. I love seeing one, work is draining, but work is also charging. So to see those, it's amazing. And so I highly recommend any opportunity to do a T chart, you always can, and some sort of focus on the kind of cause and effect, some of those things, but loved seeing all of the charging opportunities, and to just kind of smile, know that there are going to be bad times ahead, but the ability to step away, take a break, and just have that opportunity to embrace the optimism and hope of the breaks and the charging. Everyone's got to charge. So thank you for sharing. This was just a way to kick off those radiant ideas and activities. And so now we're going to get into one of our big exercise for the evening. So the Radiance exercise, this is on page 16. And so this particular one, the prompt is, and you'll see variations of this each month with kind of a longer free form writing opportunity. So we're going to look at what are your, think of someone who fills the room with radiance. So think of that again, what they emit to others, emit, E-M-I-T. And then what are those unique qualities, traits that make them radiant? Do you see some of those qualities in you? Why or why not? Jennifer and I were talking through this yesterday as kind of other approaches to this, because honestly, that kind of scares even me a little bit. And I do like to, I've got a little bit of imposter syndrome that I feel like I work through. So I like to take these exercises and turn them into kind of self-reflection. So I go the kind of self-reflection side, but you can also look at this as maybe this could be a letter to someone that emits that radiation, the radiance that you love and see. Or maybe it's just you capture the person that you want to be. What are all these qualities that, you kind of maybe wish you had, qualities that you want to call out and focus on that you can maybe work to, as Jennifer put it, a way to reverse engineer some of these ideas and approaches when you take kind of a self-reflection stance. It could also be a fictional character that you admire. It doesn't have to be a person. It could also be pieces of people that you like to see in kind of a full form. And it also can be a letter to your future self, maybe grounded in radiance, or a letter to a different part of you during your time, a different age, a different milestone. But you can take this in any direction, especially whatever direction you need at this moment. And you can use maybe some of those draining and charging elements to help give you the energy to radiate in these type of things. So I am gonna stop talking, let you guys get to that free form writing. If you have concerns, hesitations, or stumblings, let us know in the chat. Jennifer and I will be there to kind of help you out. Same thing with the, we embrace all of the, there is no right or wrong answer. It's just the fact that you're here, you're taking time to yourself to sit and be with your journal in whatever form. Maybe it's not free form, maybe it's just words, maybe it's still pictures. This is yours. No one's checking you off afterwards. So want to kind of give you this idea of like other opportunities to approach. I'm going to give you quite a bit of time to sit and work on this. But again, let us know. There are no right or wrong answers, and I will check back in. Hello, everyone. Just a quick check-in. What I loved is seeing someone said the difference. It's hard to find that line between envy and admiration. And I find myself in that similar vein with the like what ifs and the woulda, coulda, shouldas. And that takes me down a negative path. So I think it's, acknowledging that those exist and setting up some of those kind of boundaries as you explore this, because these are supposed to be enlightening and reflecting, but not to the point of negativity. So I feel like you always have to be a little cautious, and sometimes those boundaries can expand a little bit when you're just like a good place, you had a great day, you're in your happy place. And then we know that those boundaries can get a little bit smaller if you've just had one of those days, and all you're going to say it is, I had a day. Um, and then I know that these are always a little tricky to get started, which is why we always recommend additional approaches. And again, it doesn't have to be free form. These could be words, phrases, quotations, affirmations, something along those lines of just those unique qualities that you want to radiate, or that you know of someone to radiate. It's an opportunity to celebrate as well as highlight some of those things that you're interested in. So that was just a quick check-in. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more time to work on this prompt, probably another song or so, and then we'll move on. But again, feel free to share as much or as little as you want. This is just an opportunity for you to sit, listen to music, give yourself permission to let your mind wander. You don't have to write anything down. We're just glad that you're here attempting something a little bit scary. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I loved the opportunity and all the ideas and approaches that everybody took to this. I loved seeing the combination of qualities that you saw amongst different folks, identifying some of those folks that have that kind of star quality that I feel like we all kind of aspire to. But then I also loved seeing those personal connections, the personal, the very unique people in your life that makes it special. And yes, tears I feel like are always welcome. I feel like I always end up with a little teary-eyed with these particular prompts. And that's where it's just the opportunity to sit down, put that kind of use that power of pen to paper to magically kind of see all of these things, and just to embrace all of the feels that come up with this, because I feel like all of those feelings make you, and that's what makes it special. And that's what makes, I feel like, your journal journey special, in that kind of deeper connection that I feel like sometimes all of us are really looking for, or that opportunity to just sit and be with you and your thoughts, not having to share with anyone, not having to tell anybody. And again, Jennifer and I were talking about that, where it's like, I certainly enjoy filling these out, but I don't always like to share these type of exercises with others, in kind of that very kind of vulnerable capacity. But it's still the kind of good work and reflection that goes into it. And that's what I love about it. So thank you again, everybody, for sharing and being vulnerable and unfiltered. And now we're going to move on to the next exercise. So we're going to move to the Radiance sketch, which is on page 19. And this is one of those, I chuckled when this was on my social, Sonder Social event, because I am a terrible artist. I draw like a child. I don't think my art skills have gotten any better since I was a child. So I laughed when this was kind of, this is one of those, I'm going to lean in and embrace the awkwardness that is my drawing. But still super excited to kind of tackle this in any capacity. So this page is, radiance can be described as the feeling of radiance, may feel as though we're glowing, filled with beams of joy and happiness. And so you can look around and sketch what makes you feel radiant. I had a tougher time with that idea because I am, sitting at my dining room table, staring at a very blank wall in the apartment that I rent. So obviously not a lot of fun radiant touches. So we came up with kind of other ideas that you can kind of embrace. And I also like the, relieving some of the pressure of making it be like a perfect still life. So the ideas that we kind of came up with is that, you can choose 3 of the 5 senses to ground your drawing. So this could be something that you can smell, that you can taste, that you can feel, that you can hear, that gives you that joy and happiness, that kind of gives you that warm, cozy, glowing feeling about you. So it could be, the bath bomb that you're going to take, or the, person. It could be a pet. It's the sunsets, the sunrise. Maybe it's food. Maybe it's that amazing cup of tea that you've made for yourself. And the opportunity to kind of abstract draw these. Other ideas are items that you can give, or actions that you can show to others that make you radiant. So in terms of like something that just makes you smile, maybe it's a postcard, a snail mail card, books, anything that you can kind of give or receive in those action ideas. And then other things are maybe that make you warm, cozy, and glow on the inside, the big fluffy blanket, flowers, spring, all of those little things. You can also use your bingo board, maybe some of those ideas that you've done, to kind of add a little cartoon caricature with them. You can also use your habit tracker or other activities for inspiration. You can use stickers, you can use phrases or words to describe those feelings. It doesn't have to be a drawing or a sketch. The other thing is sometimes you just want to use maybe colors, or, what's on the other side is that coloring page in case you don't want to draw your own sketches. but just the opportunity to sit and be creative in whatever you're looking at, whatever you're feeling. That's kind of how we suggest potentially approaching this. As I said, Jennifer and I both were kind of chuckling at this, but again, it's that opportunity to spend some dedicated time, turn your brain off, and just use the time to do it, make you happy, make you connect to those things that fill you with joy, fill you with happiness, so that you can radiate those kind of positive feelings. So going to give you some time to work on that. Also feel free to work on the previous exercise if you're just not quite ready to tackle these sketches, and we will check back in. Just a quick check-in. I love seeing your descriptions of the things, events that make you happy. Love seeing the vacation ideas, all the flowers. What is about the kind of simplicity of flowers that just puts a smile on everybody's face? I mean, they're the perfect representation of all that is amazing with nature. They have amazing scents. They're colorful. So love seeing all those. You know, does it count if I did stickers and then I'm just coloring around the Polaroids? Is that sketch enough? So that's the direction I'm going. Because like I said, I love the power of these opportunities to sit and do, and I don't want my skills to be limiting there. But again, just checking in to see if you, again, how are you approaching this? Again, seeing those things that are making you happy, making you glow. Sunflowers also, I feel like to see that, seeing some pets, as well as food. Food always makes me happy, fills me with joy, literally and figuratively. So got a few more minutes to kind of take a look at this. Please keep sharing what we're looking at, what we're drawing, all those amazing ideas. Or again, if you can't draw them, why not describe them? And if you're a little stuck on other things, you could maybe use some of the daily rituals to kind of, again, provide that kind of visual imagery to go with the daily rituals, some of the affirmations, as well as if you've attended other socials, some of the ideas of the, tea chart, or if there were radiance light bulbs, fires, some of those that you can throw in, or you can leave those spaces open for upcoming socials as a way to kind of add that visual to hone in on some of those self-reflection discoveries that you've done embracing radiance. So again, I'm going to give you a few more minutes to tackle your sketches, and we'll see you soon. Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for everything that you shared in the chat. I loved seeing the feelings, the hobbies, the moments, the ideas. It just made me really happy to see that those are the directions that you are taking these sketches and absolutely making this your own. These pages should be the ones that you flip through and you turn to, and when you get there, you should just smile and feel a little bit better about all that is radiant and magic in your life. So these are always fun. Like I said, they're always a little tricky for me since, as I keep saying, art not my thing, but I love that we're being kind of pushed and propelled to at least attempt some of these. So now I don't shy away from these as much as I did. And obviously these socials keep me accountable for some of those pages. But that's what I think is so special about the journal is, like I said, I showed up for the trackers, stayed for the creative prompts and things outside my comfort zone. And now, believe it or not, we're actually at the end of the social. I feel like it went by so quickly, but it was so lovely to spend this Wednesday afternoon, evening with all of you guys. It was so fun. If you haven't joined our Sonder Club app, here are the QR codes for that. Jennifer has also put the links in there. We would love to see your sketches, obviously in the app, and to continue the conversation. But we're so glad with all the vulnerability and everything you shared with us. That's what makes these so much fun and so worthwhile. And we're so glad we can be here to help and guide and provide support because we have an amazing Sonder family and a Sonder community. Also, a shout out to the survey. We read all of your survey. We read all of your feedback. That is how these socials were created. That is how they have continued to expand. That is how the kind of exclusive events are created. So please provide any of that information in there. You have also seen a survey for a potential Sonder Summit, as well as Sonder Pods, which are those regional or milestone or hobby focused events that we would certainly love to share with our family as Sonder fam. But again, we are so glad you're here. Please join us on future events. Jennifer has posted that in the chat as well. We will also include our YouTube link so that you can go and see some of those on-demand events, weekly setups, monthly setups, as well as exclusive events like this one, and always where you can go if you've missed out and you want to see the recording again. And here is my playlist of all the music you heard tonight. I will also share the Spotify link in the chat. But again, thank you guys so much for coming and spending, like I said, a random Wednesday with us. We were glad you're here. We are so proud of all the steps that you took to kind of tackle some of these prompts and exercises. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Somebody to feel what I feel. I guess everything I knew fell apart all around me. I was running from something inside of my head. You were the summer gold. I was broken into, now I can feel it again. Love, I'm halfway to hold. I could be the dance on your dark side. You could be the light in my black nights. I could see myself in your wild eyes. If you could take the weight of my soul, we're indestructible. Oh, love, we're indestructible. We're so ready for the better things to come. Closing in, claustrophobic, tear it up, hit and run. You and me don't belong anymore. Kill the memory. Now we're running from something inside of ourselves. Oh, we're breaking free. 'Cause we've been through the worst. Yeah, you live and you learn. Girl, it's just you and me. I could be the dance on your dark side. You could be If you could take